Texas is an enormous and diverse state, and when it comes to major cities like Dallas, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio, each offers an entirely different lifestyle, economic landscape, and cultural flavor. So deciding where to move or invest might not be as easy for most, and that's why in this video I'll be breaking down what exactly each city has to offer. But before we jump into today's video, my name is Casey McEwen, and I'm your local trusted real estate agent and investor in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And if you're finding this channel content on all things Dallas-Fort Worth valuable, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. It truly helps out the channel. Now, I do want to be fully transparent here. I am not originally from the great state of Texas. I'm actually born and raised in Eastern Washington State. And then I joined the Marine Corps at the age of 19, got stationed in California, and then eventually made my way out of the Marine Corps back up to Washington State to be able to finish my bachelor's degree. And then I moved to Texas to pursue a master's degree. And fast forward 12 years, I've been a licensed real estate agent for about 8 of those, and I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, obviously I have a ton of experience living here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but when I first moved here in 2015, meaning Texas, I did originally move to College Station for a solid year, where I went to Texas A&M, and then I actually moved to San Antonio. Now, that's not Austin and that's not Houston, but I do have 1 year of experience close to Houston, and I do have a year of experience in San Antonio. And if you are familiar with the geography here, San Antonio is also relatively close to Austin, and I was kind of on the outskirts of San Antonio, so I visited Austin frequently. So of course, not 10 years of experience in every single one of these cities, but a decent amount in all 3 of the ones that I haven't lived for a decade in, and then of course, plenty of experience in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But let's go ahead and jump right into the city of Houston, often referred to as Space City because of its strong ties to NASA and the Johnson Space Center. It is a behemoth of industry and culture. It's the 4th largest city in the country by population and is projected to overtake Chicago to become the 3rd largest by 2030. Also, Houston's economy is broad and powerful with major sectors in both oil and gas, aerospace, healthcare, and shipping. The Port of Houston is among the busiest ports in the entire United States, and despite its economic strength and incredible diversity, Houston's weather, though, can be a major adjustment for newcomers because, we all know it, it's incredible summer humidity and the threat of hurricanes. Now, one thing I can tell you in regards to Houston itself, it is a major metroplex, so if you're looking for things to do, places to be able to go on a Friday night, or just have fun on a weekend, maybe some entertainment, food, restaurants, staycations, whatever it may be, Houston is massive. As I just mentioned, it's the 4th largest city in the entire United States. You're not going to be lacking things to do. Now, unfortunately, because of the sheer size of Houston, I don't think they planned on being the 4th largest city in the entire United States, but here we are, and they are. The traffic can be pretty awful, and I would say it's probably the worst in the state of Texas. Some people will want to sit here and say that there are parts of maybe Dallas that are worse, some parts of Austin, because there's really only 1 or 2 major freeways in the city of Austin, which we'll get to here in a second. But generally speaking, I would say the worst traffic is going to be, without a doubt, in Houston. But let's move over to the city of Austin, which is located in the scenic hill country of Texas, which stands apart for its natural surroundings and vibrant outdoor lifestyle. Now, lakes like Lake Travis and Lake Austin offer endless opportunities for water recreation, including wakeboarding, kayaking, and sailing. Now, the Texas Hill Country itself is celebrated for its rugged beauty, dotted with limestone outcrops, wildflowers, and the distinctive live oak tree. Now, the combination of a booming tech scene and an abundant outdoor spaces has made Austin one of the fastest growing cities in the country. However, that rapid expansion has driven up houses quite significantly. Now, you may be thinking, what does Austin look like recently, though? I can tell you, again, not a city that I've lived in personally, but I'm obviously in the real estate sphere, and I'm only a couple hours away up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area from Austin. And I've got a lot of great friends in the real estate industry in Austin as well, or just outright friends that live in Austin. And I can tell you that the real estate market has certainly fallen off drastically. It's probably about 2022 when home prices really across the entire state of Texas kind of hit its peak. Now, obviously, with a lot of companies now turning into needing their employees to be actually at work, and also a lot of people that made a quick decision to move to Austin or just out of the state in which they were living in 2020. After a couple years of maybe the horrible summers that some may say we have here with the heat and maybe just the overall traffic in Austin, maybe not enough things to do, a smaller airport that's not maybe as international as the one they're used to in San Diego or some other large airport like Chicago, there may be a handful of reasons why people are leaving Austin Austin, but in general, the housing market has significantly faltered really over the course of the last 18 months. Now, it's not to say that housing in Austin altogether is affordable now, because it is still going to be the highest priced housing market for all of the 4 major cities here in Texas, but it is definitely not as expensive as things were in 2022. Now, moving on to the beautiful city of San Antonio, in which I mentioned earlier, I lived in for a year. Now, one thing it does deserve is a special mention for its historical significance and quality of life. Now, the city is home to 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including the Alamo and the famous Riverwalk, which offers a unique downtown experience filled with restaurants, art galleries, and boutique hotels. Now, the cost of living here in San Antonio remains well below the national average, and healthcare access is robust, with multiple major hospital systems operating throughout the metro area. San Antonio also enjoys a healthy job market driven by military bases, healthcare, and tourism. Now, me personally, in 2016, I lived 1 year in Schertz, Texas, which is going to be on the northeast side of San Antonio. Like I mentioned earlier, it was relatively a quick drive up to Austin, which allowed me to experience that city as well, having been pretty new to the state of Texas. But one thing I can say that San Antonio lacks is the amount of things to do. Now, not going to say I am biased towards Dallas-Fort Worth, but I had always wanted to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, me personally, I am a huge foodie. I am also a sports fanatic. I'm originally from the state of Washington, as I mentioned earlier in this video. So we've got, of course, the Seattle Seahawks and the Seattle Mariners, which are both my football and baseball teams. The good news is up in Dallas, I can basically see both of those play, whether it be annually or every couple of years. Now, the unfortunate side about San Antonio is you only have the San Antonio Spurs, which is a professional basketball team, but you're lacking that professional football team, the professional baseball team, and that professional hockey team that we have all up in Dallas-Fort Worth. And in addition to that as well, the sheer size of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 2 international airports as opposed to a smaller international airport in San Antonio, and just the sheer amount of things to do in San Antonio definitely falls far from the area of Dallas-Fort Worth. And for me, I really wanted that huge upside of living in a large metro with endless opportunities for my real estate dream. So that, of course, in 2017 led me to the beautiful city of Dallas and Fort Worth. Now, Dallas offers a sharp contrast with its polished business-forward environment. The city has become a powerhouse for both finance, real estate, and tech industries. Now, with its unique downtown skyline, world-class arts district, and sprawling suburbs like Plano, Frisco, and McKinney, Dallas has mastered the art of mixing business with comfort. Now, one of Dallas's major advantages here is connectivity. Of course, I mentioned earlier, the DFW airport is one of the largest and busiest airports in the entire world. Not just the States, the world, which is ideal for both domestic and international travel. Now, the real estate market here as well continues to soar, especially in the northern suburbs of both Dallas and Fort Worth, offering plenty of modern master plan communities packed with tremendous amenities. So let's do a little comparison looking at all 4 of these cities. Now, when considering infrastructure, both Houston and Dallas have invested heavily in sprawling freeway systems, tollways, and metro rails to accommodate their massive populations. Dallas's DART system remains the largest light rail network in the country, while Houston's metro rail serves select central corridors. Austin's infrastructure, however, has struggled to keep up with its explosive growth. Projects like Project Connect, a multi-billion-dollar expansion of rail and bus service, are underway but will take years to complete. And San Antonio, with its steadier pace of growth, has managed to maintain a more traditional style layout without the extreme traffic congestion seen in Austin. And let's move over to culture now. The feel of each city couldn't be more distinct. Austin's free-spirited, artsy vibe is still evident, but the influx of tech professionals and the entrepreneurs from across the country, especially in California, has given it a new sheen of polished professionalism. Events like South by Southwest and the Austin City Limits Festivals are cornerstones of the city's music and arts scene. Now, moving on to Houston, with its multicultural makeup, offers a variety of culinary options, neighborhoods, and festivals representing every corner of the globe. And Dallas feels high-end and stylish, from luxury shopping in Highland Park Village to the restaurants scattered across Uptown and Legacy West. And of course, you get that nice mix with Dallas versus Fort Worth. You get a much slower lifestyle in Fort Worth as opposed to Dallas, but the great part of the Dallas-Fort Worth area is it's all just one large metro. And last but not least, San Antonio, in contrast, feels relaxed, traditional, and deeply rooted in its history. Now let's go ahead and look at economics. Houston remains synonymous with energy, particularly oil and gas, but it's expanding into biotech, aerospace, and clean energy. Now, Dallas has become a magnet for corporate relocations, leading the country in new Fortune 500 headquarters. And Austin's economy thrives on technology, venture capital, and startups, often called Silicon Hills because of the massive presence of companies like Tesla, Dell, and Oracle. And San Antonio, while smaller, plays a vital role in cybersecurity, healthcare, and military-related industries anchored by companies like USAA and the presence of Joint Base San Antonio. Now, the real estate markets reflect these broader terms as well. Now, I know I mentioned a little bit of real estate earlier in this video, but according to the 2025 housing data, Austin still commands the highest median home prices among the 4 cities, though the market, as I mentioned earlier, certainly has cooled. Now, Dallas's suburban expansion has fueled a construction boom, offering both luxury and entry-level options, really becoming the second most expensive city in Texas, followed by Houston, which provides some of the best affordability in terms of home size and value, although property taxes and flood insurance can be a significant factor, just like insurance throughout the state of Texas. And San Antonio, of course, remains the most attractive option for affordability, with a growing but still manageable real estate market. Now, climate is another crucial consideration when picking a Texas home. Now, of course, Texas as a whole, we have hot summers. But Dallas itself experiences a full 4 seasons, including the occasional winter, snow, or ice storm. Austin and San Antonio, being a little bit more inland and slightly elevated, have drier, hotter summers, but rarely face major flooding threats. And Houston, last but not least, situated near the Gulf Coast, grapples with both extreme humidity and the potential for hurricanes. Ultimately, choosing between Houston, Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio isn't just about facts and figures, it's about finding what's right for you and your lifestyle. Whether you're drawn to Austin's entrepreneurial energy, Houston's economic diversity, Dallas's suburban luxuries, or San Antonio's rich history and affordability, there's a Texas city ready to welcome you. Now, if you do have any further questions about Houston, Austin, San Antonio, or Dallas, and want maybe a little bit more personalized approach, you can leave a comment in the comment section down below. Reach out to me via really any method. All of my information is going to be in the pinned comment below, or it's going to be in the description. You can basically shoot me a DM on Instagram. You can schedule a call, schedule a Zoom call, or just text me on my line. As always, though, I appreciate all of your guys' support. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help, and stay tuned for next week's video.